Let's move on to the third email of the day. And the third email today comes to us from Phillip Joregursson. I'm always bad with names, man. Sorry about you. Phillip Joregursson writes, like a lot of people, I had a little trepidation about the idea of a new Joker movie outside of the DCEU, even with Joaquin Phoenix. But this new interview he just did about it makes me feel a little bit better. He talks about how much he loved the script and that he's been wanting the studios to make a character study movie of a villain for a long time, and now it's finally here. What did you think of his comments? All right, so we talked the other day about how it's now official. In September, they start shooting this new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm excited about it. Now, there's a lot of people that have, like Phillip said, some trepidation about there being a second Joker movie that's outside of the DCU, all that kind of stuff. I get it, but I made the argument that I think there's a lot of upside here. That some of my all-time favorite comic book stories are Elseworld stories. Whether you're talking about Red Sun, The Dark Knight Returns, stories that take place outside of the continuity of the ongoing comic series and is kind of an Elseworld story. Some of my all-time favorite comic book stories are Elseworld stories. So why not in the movies? Why not give it a shot with the movies? It might work, it might be a disaster, but why not give it a shot? Give it a try. Take the handcuffs off the storytellers. Let them tell a story without having to worry about, make sure everything's in continuity with everything going else in the movie world. No. Do whatever you want. Tell whatever story you want. You're not handcuffed to anything in the DCU. Go make your movie. And by the way, bring on one of the best actors in the world, Joaquin Phoenix. And let's see what happens. So I've always been kind of up on that. Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix was recently interviewed, and he had a few comments about the whole situation as well. One of the things he talked about was how much he liked the script. That's one of the things that drew him to it. And remember, he's very picky. He's extremely picky about which movies he'll be involved in. But anyway, this is what Joaquin Phoenix had to say. Talking about the director, he said, he seems to have a very interesting understanding of this world and what he's trying to say. And so there is something very appealing about that and working with him on this particular project. It feels unique. It is its own world in some ways, and maybe, mostly, it scares the fucking shit out of me or something. It might as well be the thing that scares you the most. I love that one thing he says there. It scares the fucking shit out of me. It might as well be the thing that scares you the most. You know, Joaquin Phoenix also went on to say that he actually talked to his agent years ago about saying, hey, try to get the studios to do like a character study movie about one of the villains and really go deep into one of the in a character study sort of film with these things. So he's been talking about doing that for a long time. Now, of course, Joaquin Phoenix flirted with being in a comic book movie before, because remember, it was pretty much lined up. He was in negotiations to be Doctor Strange. That obviously fell apart. Benedict Cumberbatch comes along, and he does a great job as Doctor Strange. So now we're getting him as the Joker. I think these comments are great. I really do. I think his approach to this and his comments on this, saying that he got attracted to it because it scares him. I love that, especially coming from a guy who's not like all there really, like Joaquin Phoenix, who just like soaks into those characters and brings us some tremendous performances as a result. I mean, this guy's got a little bit of, Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know if you've seen him interviewed, a little bit of a screw loose, but I think that just adds to how good he is as an actor, to be honest with you. So yeah, I gotta tell you, man, myself, I like the comments. I like hearing that that's what attracted him to it. I like that a guy who is as picky about the movies he's going to be in looked at this and thought, this scares me. This is interesting. I want to play this role. And now he's doing it. And I think that speaks volumes about his potential. Again, that ain't saying that the movie's going to be any good. It might be an absolute train wreck. But to me, I think it's at least you got to say it's a bit encouraging. Okay, let's move on now to the next email of the day.